What's up, guys? We are back with F is for Fanatic. This is Cody, your host tonight, the professor, or in the morning when this gets released. And I kind of wanted to talk about the temperature in the room of the Florida fan base and Billy Napier and how Gator Nation is feeling right now. And I think this is a good spot in the midst of things to kind of break some stuff down. And why I think that is because there's not a whole lot going on. So there's not the highs of getting a big 5-star commit, and there's not the lows of losing a big 5-star commit or losing games in season right now. So I think this is a good spot to kind of break down some stuff. I'm not going to pump a bunch of sunshine and say everything is great in Gainesville, because it's not. But I just wanted to do a short video and kind of break it down, guys. So first off, I would like to address the kind of the elephant in the room, and that's obviously offensive line recruiting, which hasn't been great. It really wasn't great last year. We got 2 offensive line coaches, and it's not showing anything this year. I don't know if it's, I can't say it's coaching, because obviously Osiris Torrance goes high second round in the draft, or mid second round. And so obviously there's a proven product, right? But I don't understand why the big offensive linemen, the 4 stars. I don't know that there's very many 5-star offensive linemen, but the 4 stars aren't just lining up to beat down the door to get into Florida. I don't really understand that. I can't put my finger on it yet. And I'm going to do some more digging and some more kind of, I'm going to talk to some people. I'm not worried, but it's something that we need to talk about, and it's kind of concerning. And I kind of went off the rails a couple weeks ago on a live show about, why do we have 2 offensive line coaches and they're not obviously producing in commits. So it's still very early in the grand scheme of things when it comes to recruiting, but we don't want to be where we were at last year and hoping on some guys at the very end. You want your class kind of starting to, but way before National Signing Day, you want to have most of your class committed, right? Publicly committed, and flips do happen, but it's a little bit harder for flips to happen because they're already committed to the fan base, and they really don't want, the kids don't want, with Twitter and everything these days, they don't want the backlash of flipping schools. So there is that. So once they're committed, it's and I'm not saying flips don't happen, they happen all the time, but it's a little harder, especially when it gets closer to National Signing Day. The second thing is that you don't want to be banking on kids like we kind of did last year, that came to Florida a bunch and never showed up. Like what's his name that went to Miami? Pancake Poncho, or whatever his nickname was. You don't want that. You don't want that to happen. That is an L. That's egg on the face. That really starts to fire up the Florida fan base, and that's not what you want. Okay, number 2. Now that we've gotten past O-line, I think all the other positions, minus I think tight end could be better also, are recruiting at a extremely efficient and high level, and I like that. Obviously, quarterback is fine. Obviously, corner or the DBs, not Billy Raymond. Coach Raymond is really doing his things there. Wide receivers starting to step up with Billy G. And, I think that there is some running back is obviously taken care of right now. And we might be taking an extra one in the portal. So, but Billy Napier likes to have a trio of backs back there because we run the ball a lot, which is fine. But the second thing I need to talk about is offensive play calling. So we go and get Armstrong for the DC, right? And he's going to call all the plays. And I understand Billy Napier likes to call plays, but I kind of like I don't know if everything is just too much for him. And when I say everything is too much for him, he's dealing with all the logistical stuff. He's dealing with all the equipment stuff. He's dealing with speaking tours and recruiting and all of this stuff. Would it be better if we had an offensive coordinator that essentially sat in a room and dissected the defense? And I just don't think Billy Napier has the time to do that in season and out of season. I don't think he does. And supposedly we have an offensive coordinator, a co-offensive coordinator. I don't like that. Give me an offensive coordinator. Give me a good play caller. I think in year 2, it's not going to happen. Billy Napier is going to keep calling plays, but I think by year 3 we need an OC and a darn good one. I don't know who is out there for OC candidates, but I mean you can find a pretty good play caller. Especially one of the younger ones, you can find them pretty easy. So, I get Billy Napier likes to call the plays, but at some point, the best coaches don't call plays anymore. It's just facts. Kirby Smart doesn't really call plays anymore. Nick Saban, doesn't call plays anymore. It is what it is. And I think you got to have a guy that's dialed in calling plays on the field. I'm not saying you can't interject a little bit and say, hey, we want to run the ball here. Or, I like these 3 plays. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying in year 3, you're at the University of Florida. You need to have an offensive coordinator. I'm sorry. Unless I see a huge uptick in offense and he's top 5 or top 10 in the nation, which if he is, fine this year. I don't think it will happen, but it's fine. Number 3, we need to talk about the spring game because Florida got a lot of flack for the spring game. And I don't think they should have. The defense looked good. That's what you want. This defense was like in the hundreds last year. They were bad. They were terrible. And even worse when Ventrell Miller got hurt. They were so bad. So I think that, truthfully, you need to essentially, I think that we're going to get an uptick in defense, obviously. We saw it in the spring game. I think that, truthfully, it's one of those things where the defense is going to look better than the offense usually just because of the nature of the game and the offense is just always a couple weeks behind, even in the NFL. But when you're the only game on TV and it doesn't go perfect for you, you're going to get the criticism. And Billy Napier wanted all the recruits there, so he did it on that day where there was nobody else having a spring game. And he was one of the earlier spring games, but you got to take the criticism when you're the only thing to watch on TV. And some people said, well, they only scored so many points or whatever. Okay, great, fine. That was on an actual football scoring scale, which a lot of teams didn't do, it kind of blows my mind that they don't do that. But the fourth and final thing, we're going to go over the defense real fast. I think the defense is just going to be way better. And so I'm not real worried about that. I think we need to give Billy Napier some more time. The recruiting class is really looking good right now. But we'll have to see how it finishes. We'll have to readdress that come, National Signing Day when everything is done. And so we'll address that then. I think that the temperature, if you're not going the full I love Billy Napier and he can't do anything wrong, and compared to hashtag fire Billy Napier, I think the temperature in the room is right even, 70 degrees, comfortable. Yes, there's some things that we would like to change, but I think it's fine right now. And this thing is a learning curve for the coaches. I think in year 2 it's going to be a lot better. I think it's going to be a lot smoother. I think the defense is going to be better. I think the players are going to be better. So there is that. So guys, don't get too worked up right now. Just let things happen. We'll reevaluate after the season. And I get everybody's fired up after seeing the Vegas odds of Gators only having 5.5 wins. I get that. But Vegas also had Will Levis going in the high first round, like the top 4 picks for plus 400, and that shit didn't happen. So you can't always count on Vegas. But this is Cody the Professor. Thanks for all the subscriptions. We are climbing to 100. Like, subscribe as always, and we will talk to you later.